You're not real. You're...
Cloud, I have a favor to ask of you. Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
You bastard! Yeah!
Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Alex Eniel, and it is time to look at Final Fantasy VII with my best Final Fantasy VII buds. Jessica Cogswell is here.
Hi, everyone.
Scott White is here.
The professor's here.
Yes.
I'm ready.
It's time to nerd out about this probably a lot. How are you all feeling? Jess, I want to start with you because you've been off in just a vacation wonderland, and now you've come back, and now you have Tifa. How are you feeling about Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Okay, if this explains how I feel about Final Fantasy VII, I had zero intention of actually. So I was gone on a cruise, and I had zero intention of actually paying for Wi-Fi and like doing that because it was like $40, and I was like, I can survive without it. I don't need to spend that. Like, I don't need to be plugged in. I can break away and actually enjoy life for a little bit. But then I was like, Final Fantasy VII news is going to happen. And because I went to the concert on Sunday also, the Final Fantasy VII Symphony. And they said that night that there would be a lot more news about it tomorrow and stuff to play. And I was just like, okay, no, I need to buy it. I need to buy the Wi-Fi because I need to know what's going on with my game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm overwhelmed and so happy. It looks really good. And I did come back and get to see my waifu.
Yeah, she was here.
OG waifu.
Hanging out, looking great, you know?
I know. Great
She looks
redesign.
amazing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it, but boy, looking good.
No, it's like Tifa was the first character in a game series that I ever like really loved and connected. I remember when I was, and this is so nerdy, and like a handful of people know this because it's just ridiculous and horrible. Like I think I've talked to Andrew about it and like Moises about it. But I used to, when I was like 7 or 8, when I had first played the game, I like literally would just dress up like her as a kid, and like I would pretend that I was her. So, I mean, and I'm an adult now. I still do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I mean, like, some things never change. You just got to hold on to that.
Exactly.
They're good things. Scott, how are you feeling about Final Fantasy VII Remake?
I'm feeling hopeful from everything I see, especially the combat. I'm very excited. I'm not that excited about the idea that I probably won't finish this remake series until after I'm 40. But yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm still kind of bummed that this first game's only going to be Midgar. But if they expand it and do as good as everyone says the demo was, then I'll still love it.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it's not another 5 years before the next game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am feeling generally pretty good. I think I have certainly accepted that I'm going to be pretty bummed at the end of this game, and very concerned as to when the next game will come out, if ever. But I really feel the love in everything that they've shown. Like, if this is just the game, which presumably it is, like, boy, howdy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it looks very framey for you too, but it looks very good for me. But yeah, what they showed and what we've heard about, I think, gives us a very good impression of the kind of people that are making this game, the kind of people that are working on it, and the kind of game that they're trying to tell, like the kind of stories they're trying to add to the Final Fantasy world. And it's really, really cool. Also, I want to note that of all the things we heard, we still don't know like quite where or when this is, and what's happening, this motorcycle scene, but I'm so happy it's back.
Yeah, I also love, so Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs are all fantastic, and I'm really happy that they're going to feel like actual characters now, because like I always liked them in the original series, but they're definitely a lot more just, supplementary characters. It seems like they're actually giving them a larger role, which is well. Actually, should I avoid spoilers? I don't know.
I don't know. I would say be cautious with them, but like to people like listening, understand that this is still a remake of a very old game. So if things casually come out, like, you know, it happens. This is still very early on in the grand scheme of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
So I would just dance around it if you can.
Yeah, I'll dance around it, but it looks like they're going to be more important characters, and going to have a bigger impact in the game, which is nice.
Yeah. And we heard a lot about like them, the dialogue that they have with Barrett and with Cloud, and how it sounds and how it builds them out and how it makes them feel like people. What were you gonna say, Scott?
I'm excited, like the fleshing out of the three of them, but we all know what happens, so I'm like, don't do it to me.
See, Scott, that's what I was trying to avoid.
We're all gonna get hurt at the end of this game.
It is gonna hurt.
Do you guys think that Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge will be playable party members in this game?
That's a good question.
Because we're going to be missing out. If this is only Midgar, we're missing out on about half the cast.
Yeah. Because we won't get like Red.
No, we'll get Red.
Oh, no, you get Red. You get Red because you get him in like the Shinra headquarters.
Yuffie will be no shows.
Yeah.
And Kate Sith.
Yeah.
And Kate Sith. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think like they are taking the time to flesh them out, but I think everything I've heard tells me that they are still really, really concerned about making this a very faithful telling of what Final Fantasy VII is. And I think they're going to monopolize that, not on bringing in more characters and having more playable party members, but by fleshing out characters around them and using them to flesh out the party members that we do get. Because if you think about it, these core party members, like the 5 that we would get in this beginning area, are kind of like the core, but the latter half of the game is definitely focused on the other 4 party members, the other 3 party members, or however many, maybe 5, I don't know. Final Fantasy VII has way too many party members. So like I think it makes sense that if the next game is going to be outside of Midgar, that gives him way more time to flesh out all of Yuffie, all of Vincent, all of Sid, and then presumably a third and final part to be like after everybody falls apart and going into the finale and getting the gang back together. So like I think it is totally fine that there's only 4 or 5 party members in this part. I think that's okay. It gives them room to flesh them out. Like everything we've heard about, like Barrett, gets me so excited. Like,
I know the banter gets me so hyped up.
I just want to hang out with Barrett, you know. Like I'm excited to see this boss fight that we got to see like the full kind of demo of, and just hear Barrett yelling at me. It just sounds like a good time to me.
I mean that's one of the biggest takeaways from people demoing it at E3 that I got is just the conversations are a lot more conversational, and it makes it seem like you're actually really, I don't know, you're with people, you know, and it's not so much and like I guess like that's the biggest thing playing Final Fantasy VII today, you know, is it's hard, I guess. I mean, it's not really hard for me because I'm just so attached to that game, but I feel like for other people, especially like for friends that I've had who have been like, oh, this is my favorite game, I need you to play it because this is my game and I need you to love it as much as I love it. It can sometimes be hard for them to connect because like the characters don't look like characters, you know, and the translation isn't the best. And you compared to games nowadays where you do have, I guess, just it's more constant action, more dialogue, more conversational. It doesn't have all of that, you know? So it seems like they're really kind of adding all of those missing elements into it. And I think they're going to make it more accessible to a whole lot of people. Yeah.
And I think it's cool that while like the translation to English was like notoriously very rough, it had like a kind of style to it. And you really felt the style that they were going for. And I think that style has become kind of part of the cult following of Final Fantasy VII. The kind of very deep love of it is how weirdly goofy it is. And it seems like they're not only trying to adapt Final Fantasy VII, but they're specifically trying to adapt that kind of quirkiness about it as well. And that's great.
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're good.
When I went to the symphonic reunion on Sunday, that was like honestly one of the best things. There were some things about it that I wasn't stoked with, but they showed clips from the games, and they would just show like the dumbest shit, like the whole like slap fight between Tifa and I cannot remember her name.
Scarlet, I think it was
Scarlet.
Who?
Yeah,
Scarlet. Yeah, the whole slap fight between the two of them. And they showed like Cloud saying "Let's mosey," and just in like the little instances like that, and the whole crowd was just laughing, and it was really good because like that's the quirky stuff that stands out, and I really hope is retained.
Yeah. It seems like they're going out of their way to retain that kind of style. That's good. Makes me feel good, Scott.
Yeah, dude. They've confirmed the cross-dressing scene, so that's what I care about.
Yeah, they've like triply, quadruply confirmed, like, hey, no, we're not taking it out. We're making this work. They've also kind of confirmed new stuff, like wherever the fuck is going on over here with Aerith.
Oh, the Watchmen of Fate, I think they call it.
Yeah,
they call them
some kind of spooky stuff.
Which is weird
they
because
were
like
cross clones.
Me too.
Well, because they talked about how, so like in Final Fantasy VII, in like the train yard and stuff like that, you fight like ghost monsters.
Yeah.
And they talked about, I thought, removing those. And then in this scene, it almost seems like just a cinematic introduction into those being there.
Maybe.
So I don't really know. Sorry, Bruce is scratching his collar.
He's gotta get those good itches.
I'm just gonna, okay, he stopped. There we go. but I guess like that's the way I kind of took this when I initially saw it. Is it was supposed to be that, but I don't know. I don't really know what's going on here. It's weird.
I kind of got the idea that Aerith could see them, but no one else could. But then when she touched Cloud, he could suddenly see them. Because there's that scene where he like shocked, like this one right there, where he's like, "Oh shit, what?"
Yeah, like
the fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like maybe because Aerith is an ancient that she can see these things with Fate, and because she has the holy materia and whatnot. I guess that's a spoiler, but sorry.
Yeah, but people won't understand what the fuck we're talking about for like 20 years.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe that's why, and because she's touching Cloud, and because Cloud has all Cloud stuff to him, that he can.
That's the best way to describe it.
All
it's just
Cloud stuff, you know?
He's got a lot of stuff.
No.
He has cells of things that I don't want to talk about to try and avoid some spoilers.
Speaking of which, like they always talk about how soldiers who have been like exposed to Mako have like a glow in their eyes, and if you look here, I think like that kind of
around the iris,
light green around the iris is that glow. It's really cool to kind of see how they want to show that in this game.
Oh my god, you guys! Are Cloud and Zach just Bucky and Cap?
Yeah.
I think they have a much more fucked up relationship than Bucky and Cap, because this is like if Bucky like convinced himself he was Cap.
Yeah. Honestly, though,
and then
that sounds like a comic book storyline that totally happened.
It totally does. In fact, I kind of like want Andrew to come in here and I would be like, "Hey, has this happened?" Because it totally sounds like some shit that would.
I know Bucky became Captain America, but I don't know about the whole assuming his personality and like his memories and shit.
It was like so traumatized to the point of adopting his identity.
Although, like now I'm thinking about it, like a mix of Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts are like Bucky and Cap. Like they're just those stories. All right, we can't keep talking about this.
I do
no.
Just briefly in regards to this shot. it's kind of this is pretty amazing just from a video game technology standpoint. We came from blocky like Popeye Cloud to now Cloud has fucking defined pores on his face.
Yeah, so you can see his like little freckles.
Yeah, he's a pretty boy.
It's like technology.
Yeah.
No, in Tifa's, I'm gonna call her Tifa all the time because that's what I called her before, audio existed.
Before the internet found you and was like, no, not anymore.
Well, before before they had voices and names, because I just thought that's what her name was. So Tifa.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved in her character art how she has like actual mustache hairs. Like not super noticeable, but like light hair. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, fucking women have those. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know. Tifa's like such a cool character in so many regards. And so are like Aerith and Barrett in their own right. And I'm glad it seems like they're being like preserved in a really cool way. This is cool because it's the first time we see being able to play as Aerith. And we still don't see it. We didn't see it in any demos after the fact either.
Yeah, we really don't get much in terms of Aerith gameplay.
Yeah.
Shown.
Good Barrett.
Good big shot, looks like.
Yeah, just kicking ass. Cross slash.
Yeah, that's cross slash. I love it. They still keep the marks in there.
And so, like, Jess, do you remember the bet that you made? How, like, will Tifa appear in the Final Fantasy VII trailer before or after 30 seconds? And you said,
I said before, and I said that she would open it by talking.
Yeah, we are at the 1 minute 30 second moment. So you were
a little off.
You were a minute off, I'll say. But honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it's a tough bet. But there we go.
She's so beautiful. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I was so shocked because like they just ripped the Band-Aid off and they just showed her and it was just in a cutscene in game, and then she was just perfect, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I love her skirt. I love the pleats on it now.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and a thing pointed out that I totally agree with and I totally love is that they didn't change any of the designs. They're all the same. They just like readapted them while maintaining exactly what they were before, in a surprisingly attentive to detail way.
Mm-hmm.
And it like looking at Tifa and Barrett like this and kind of Cloud and how he looks with like the sleeves ripped off of what he's wearing, and everyone else in the slums under Sector 7 plate, it gives me the vibe that like it's just really hot down there, you know? Like I feel like there is like a reason why everyone kind of looks like this. And that's kind of cool. It builds out the world a lot. Also, I'm not quite sure. I think I know what this scene is, like when after Cloud comes back from the first reactor and when they're talking. This is when I believe
on a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before Cloud goes down the escape pipe or whatever, the arcade.
And demands his money.
Yeah, it's when Tifa reminds Cloud of their childhood promise, I think, right?
That was when he was leaving.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the scene before that. It's like he goes down there and then he goes to sleep, and then the next morning, like you get the iconic line of Cloud, did you sleep well or something like that? And it's like, oh, next to you, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Classic.
What a boy. And they're maintaining how much of a goober he is, I think. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It seems like they're definitely adding a lot to this scene though. Which is cool.
I want to know what eggs and chips, like, is it just like scrambled eggs and french fries? Like, what is eggs and chips?
Yeah, what's on the menu? Tell me.
I think eggs and chips would be at least like, I don't know. I'm going off of like when I lived in England, I guess, which seems weird. I don't know why they'd be using that, but it'd be like just eggs and like breakfast potato type thing, like potato wedge type thing.
Yeah. Lame, man. I'm really excited to see the whole Sector 7 slums and
Mhm.
see it all fleshed out. Next, we get this train sequence. This is presumably in the second bombing run when the alarms start going off in the train.
Yes.
Which is
That's
really
such a cool moment.
I found out recently because I was looking at the trophy list for Final Fantasy VII. I guess there's a way to, because like you have to go through the train cars before our timer runs out. I guess there's a way to like fail that, and then you have to do something. I don't know if these little robots show up if you fail that. I've never seen them before.
Oh.
I've never failed it before. That's
Yeah, I haven't
interesting.
either.
Yeah, it seems like you might be able to fail it, and you might just have to fight some dudes, and then you get out of it.
Mm.
Okay.
And I'd be curious to see if those dudes look like these little robot guys that are chasing them, because that'd be cool. But I'm not sure.
I remember this scene is like one of those instances that really reinforces how important like all the sub characters and stuff are in Final Fantasy VII, because like the first time that you're writing back from the first mission, you can go up to Jessie and you can talk to her about like she like gives you a walkthrough of like the whole train system and like talks about like, oh, you know, like this is where we are, this is what we're doing, and she talks about like her process of like making the ID cards and stuff, and then like she says something along the times of like, ooh, next time I'm gonna do something a little bit special.
Yeah.
And like then that happens the next time and she's like, shit, like I shouldn't have done that. And it's one of those like really small conversations that's just like you don't need to pay attention to it, you know what I mean? It's just like kind of background lore, but if you like are paying attention, it's a cool little touch, and it's like, oh, that had, you know, consequences.
Yeah, it's really cool. And like they in a very short amount of time, even if you go back and replay Final Fantasy VII, the original, I think for the time and for what they were doing and for what little time and technology they had, I think they flesh out Biggs, Wedge, and Jessie pretty well in the like 5 to 6 hours that you actually spend with them. And I think it's still impressive to this day. So I seeing them really trying to flesh those characters out as much exponentially as a whole Midgar game could is cool. I think that's they've earned it for sure.
I think Jessie's going to become new best girl.
No,
Ooh.
I don't think anything of the such. I can't get behind this thought process when Tifa's here in the party. Look at her. This next section, I'm guessing this is going into the reactor, the second reactor.
Yeah.
In one of the lower areas. Here we're seeing a maybe a combat ability or a limit break that we have not seen before, and they've not shown before or described before, which is very cool.
Maybe this is the Punisher mode.
That's what I was
'Cause
wondering. Like, is this the Punisher mode thing? Because it's kind of like almost like a Swift, like,
Well,
I don't know.
Punisher mode was described as him like kind of moving slower but holding his sword upward, and
Oh, that's right. From
and
Max's,
attacking,
'cause-
like wider, and doing way more damage, but being more vulnerable to, like ranged attacks. And he also has like in the Punisher stance, he has like a counter, that he can like parry any attack and go into like a big powerful
That's
counter attack.
interesting.
That's true.
So that's
Max was saying that.
yeah, that was a Maximilian dude gave that kind of explanation, but so that's what I'm going off of. So
That's cool.
this could be another like combat art, or it could be a third stance. We don't know. A third stance might be too hopeful, but I really am hoping. Then we see some Barrett. Barrett's red. He's charging up.
I love how like the barrels on his gun glow red.
Yeah.
Like after you use them a bit, little touches like that.
So red. Maybe like I'm excited to see because he has like the gun that's like a cannon, and he has a gun that's like a scissor claw that he attacks with. Like, are they going to keep that in? I think it seems like they are, because they're keeping like everything in. And how the hell is that going to work? It does just completely change how Barrett plays as a character. It's so exciting.
I'll be curious to see if they include the long range materia that lets like close range fighters hit people far away.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but that's such a,
Like,
a
how will
good
they
question.
How will they work that?
I wonder if it like turns your attacks into you like shooting like mana balls, like neutral mana balls at enemies or something like that. Maybe turns it like more into like a shooter. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's so many ideas. And then we get, but like, who cares about those two? New main. Best girl.
I just love her. I love her so much.
They talked about, a lot of the people that played talked about maybe attack, delay, attack, like special kind of combo inputs that could cause different finishers and different combos and different hits and longer combos and longer strings. And maybe this is one of them where we see an attack, a delay, an attack, and it's fucking rad.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It looks like she's gonna be really fun to play.
Yeah, which is awesome. She looks super fast, exactly how you would want Tifa to play in like an action game.
Oh yeah.
This part seems to be after we've escaped Don Corneo's mansion and fought the boss afterwards.
I really hope I'll smash him, I'll bash him, I'll rip him off.
Oh god, yeah, that's got to be there, but like with way more quips. I'm feeling, and I'm excited for all of the characters to flex there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing is like the characters in Final Fantasy VII are so funny. Like they really are. They have so much just like charm and humor to them, and I feel like with the later things that they did with Final Fantasy VII, like Advent Children or Dirge of Cerberus, it was kind of stripped away a little bit more, especially Advent Children. I mean, like I feel like so many people had this impression of like Cloud being so like the typical emo Cloud thing, or even in Kingdom Hearts, he kind of has more of that demeanor.
Advent Children created emo Cloud.
Yeah, for sure.
It really did. Advent Children 100% created emo Cloud.
Before that, he was just like standoff asshole Cloud.
Well, and he's like cocky too.
Yeah,
like, he's kind of like an arrogant kid.
He
like,
makes quips, man. Like he thinks he's fucking rad as heck because he's soldier first class, you know.
Yeah, it's like exactly. He thinks he's hot shit. I mean, even his whole like entrance whenever he jumps on the train, and then like everybody's like, "Shit, I wonder if Cloud is okay." And Barrett's super pissed off, and then he comes prancing in.
Yeah,
I was like, "Sorry, I'm late." Like that's totally his personality, and like I really hope that they retain that and they don't veer into emo Cloud and just give him like that kind of like arrogance that makes him kind of endearing.
Yeah.
From the quips and things that people have reported, it's him kind of being that cocky mercenary, not necessarily asshole, but it's just like whatever, dude.
Yeah,
you're crazy.
Like he thinks he's too good for it. He doesn't really care about the planet. He doesn't care about their mission. He wants his money. He's doing, his childhood friend a solid, like,
Yeah, and it seems like they're really setting him up for that arc to kind of come crashing down and realize who he really is and kind of learn to accept that. And I think like it's still a really powerful thing today for a lot of people. And it seems like they're really trying to maintain as much faithfulness to Final Fantasy VII as they can. I also like that they noted that they have an entirely new voice cast for Final Fantasy VII just for this. Like the other Final Fantasy VII voice cast from before will kind of continue on doing other outside of this remake Final Fantasy VII things, but this cast is for the remake for people like coming in fresh. And to be something new for the people who played it before, which I think is really cool. And God, this just looks so fun.
Yeah.
Tifa
so good.
Tifa looks like she is just great to play.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about her costume earlier, and like we kind of like not went over this, but I guess like push past this thing. But I really like the fact that they didn't switch her to like her Advent Children costume or anything like that, because I know some people were like, oh, they're definitely gonna like tone down how sexy her outfit was and stuff like that, but they didn't. Like they added the stockings. I think that they made like her boots, I think, are a little bit chunkier, which is really cute. But like the outfit is fairly similar.
They kind of like justified like realistically what this outfit would look like.
Which because I like the stockings, because like realistically, like that would be cool for like I don't know, knee protection, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And they gave her a sports bra, which, you know, when you got big boobs, you need that. So good on that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're jumping around, flipping and kicking and uppercutting and
Exactly. My girl needs her support.
Yeah, and like the skirt's cut at the side so like when she like crouches down, it doesn't tear or anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And she has like the little shorts on underneath too.
Mhm.
So it's like I feel like they retained that look and like kept her style with I don't know, giving her that functionality.
They made
know?
it, and they made it
Cool.
practical. Like I understand why she would wear this. Like this looks like she looks like she's used to wearing this and she's comfortable fighting in this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool. Like it,
Yeah, and that's
it
like one
doesn't
thing
look
I-
ridiculous.
It doesn't. You know, I don't like when there's like a knee-jerk reaction to anything that's like sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But there's ways to do it that are right and ways to do it that are tacky.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing it right.
Yeah, they just
when it just
good.
is so impractical, I think that's when it's just like, okay, that's a bit much. You're just
If
doing
she
it.
were wearing like a string
like,
bikini,
Yeah.
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 You're like,
I don't know. I think this is cool. This seems like
Oh,
something
yeah.
like I believe that she would wear this and she would kick ass in it.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
If you look at
100%.
that like concept art of like all the character art from Final Fantasy VII, like what Tifa looked like there, this is a perfect rendition of that today.
Mm.
Then we get to see the first shot of Shinra HQ. The Shinra
Can I just
Tower.
say this looks fucking amazing?
This is
It looks
incredible.
incredible.
Yeah, this is like the thing is like I was watching reaction videos and people don't like really like gasp at this moment, I feel, but when I was watching it at home, I just like lost my mind at
I know.
this very, very quick shot. I was like, oh my god.
It looks incredible. Like this is like, you know how when you're a kid, like we played all these games and like in our mind we would fill in the spaces and like create like what it would look like because it didn't look great, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is in my mind what I pictured.
This is better than what I pictured in
Yeah.
my mind.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see it like as you're escaping this area, like when maybe things are on fire. There's like bullets and like chunks missing.
Yeah,
and
chunks
stuff.
missing out of the wall, broken stuff, robots roaming around on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, and even like when you first like encounter Sephiroth, or I guess not really encounter him, but like his presence is made aware. It happens in the Shinra HQ.
When the walls are covered in blood and everything.
Yup. And like you fucking find the president just with his sword stabbed through him on his desk. Like that stuff was so, because I remember you go to sleep, you're in the cells, and then you wake up and the Trail of Blood music starts playing. And you're just like, oh fuck, what happened?
I've been thinking about like because a few folks have theorized how that scene might play out differently in the remake. I've been thinking that them overnight in the cells would be a great time for Cloud to tell the story of how he went and met Sephiroth, and redo that to have that in this game and have that like early part of Final Fantasy VII still in this game.
Yeah.
I know that that's like a big change that some people might not like, but I think it would be cool. It would fit. And then especially the end of that story with how it ends, and then they walk out and see blood all over the walls, and they find out that it's Sephiroth, and it's like, oh my fucking god, what is
I think
happening?
if people were upset about that, that's like really nitpicky. Like it literally happens a few hours later in Calm, and like it doesn't
In a hotel, like in
a hotel. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like it happens at like this exceptionally like momentous like part that has like some bearing on, like it could easily happen in the cell and that would be just as good.
Yeah, the only thing is it's like right after they meet Red 13, so it's hard to it'd be weird to have Cloud kind of share this very intimate thing with him. But I don't know. I think there's a way to do it, or the way to change around the timeline, and like I said, kind of incorporate things from also early Final Fantasy 7, like those other parts, maybe some of the story beats, maybe stuff about the Turks that we learn in like the Crystal Cave or whatever. Not necessarily saying that those parts will get cut out of the next game, but to say that they're going to be reinterpreted in a cool way, in an open world way, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. This is the latest probably in the game that we've seen.
Yeah.
Period. Because storming Shinra headquarters.
It's the last thing, man.
You climb it and then shit goes down and then you get GTFO out of town, you know.
Yeah.
So
What I love, so this is floor, I think it's floor 58 or 57, which is this kind of conference area that you have to walk around and talk to people to learn how to get to the next floors and how the key cards work and how they get you through Shinra HQ. And you see people sitting around. It's like, oh my God, like this is going to happen in this game. It's so cool. I like
how people don't care at all that there's a dude just running around with a giant sword and
presumably two other people directly behind him, like following along with guns or whatever.
It's Midgar.
This part, I think, is another one of the Shinra HQ floors. Man, we get to see a lot of it here. One of the, maybe the floor with like the big map that you have to fill in the pieces of or something like that. Oh God, this looks so good.
It does. It's beautiful.
What do you guys remember what this boss's name is?
Something Beast? No.
Borg?
Maybe not.
Bjork? Born?
I don't remember.
I think it's Bjork. Pretty sure it's Bjork.
Apps.
I was close.
That's it. Yep, it's Apps.
Okay. I was totally off.
Yeah, so this is the boss you fight. Don Corneo's weird little pet. You fight after he drops his trapdoor open. I like that they're showing us this. They show this moment still in the game. Like it's still gonna happen, and that presumably the scene right before will still happen, of course. But they don't want to show that, of course. You gotta see that when you play the game.
Oh God, it looks so good.
Yeah, it's a cool fight
this
too.
Just looks so fun.
I think they really nailed the mix of the ATB kind of tactical turn base and the kind of faster pace of more modern Final Fantasy games in terms of combat.
We see that this move does use Tifa's limit gauge, so this is one of her limit breaks. Still don't know how.
That's flip kick, I want to say. Isn't that the name of it?
Maybe, or dolphin kick or something like that. I don't know. Still don't know how Tifa's limit's going to work, if it's going to work the same.
Yeah, with the slots. I was actually wondering the same thing.
Because we don't know how limit levels are going to work.
Looks like in that scene, Tifa is suffering from the sadness affliction.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So her defense is raised, but her limit doesn't go up as high.
It looks like Aerith has like a little red symbol under her name.
Yeah, same with Tifa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
So Cloud's the sad one.
And then Tifa.
Oh, you know what? It might be like they're all. It looks like a couple of them maybe have sadness, but like when it's not the highlighted character, it's smaller.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that could be it.
Airbuster, which is the second boss. Super cool dude. He's the one that separates Cloud from Barrett and Tifa, sends him down to the slums.
God, I'm gonna cry like a baby when I hear flowers blooming in the church when he falls. Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna get us all.
I lost it at the symphony too.
Big thing here is Cloud's using a different sword.
Hard Edge, baby.
Hard Edge. Looks good too, man. I'm so excited to see all the different swords. My hope is that not only do you get different swords, but throughout the game, maybe they'll change outfits as well as they go to different places later on.
Yeah. I love it. I love when you get to see like the actual appearance changes with new weapons and stuff. It's so cool. Such a good touch.
Yeah.
Truth. I'm going to be curious to see just how many weapons you actually do have access to. Because this is still so early in the original game, you don't have access to tons. So I'm hoping they expand the number greatly.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they make all new weapons as well, and then still as the games go on, incorporate the weapons from the original Final Fantasy VII, like Hard Edge and the Buster Sword.
Yeah,
I just want to see Barrett with a giant pair of scissors on his arm, dude.
Damn straight, dude.
It's all I want. This fight looks so cool.
I know.
I can't get over it.
I love Shinra HQ in the background.
We're gonna play this in 9 months, less than 9 months.
Axe kick, bash, unbridled strength. So it looks like Tifa can buff herself.
Yeah, probably.
That's one ATB ability, it looks like.
Yeah. It's cool, man. The command, we didn't talk about it, but I think enough's been said, but the tactical mode command system is fucking perfect.
What's so funny is like when the game was first announced and even before, because like I have literally been waiting for this game to be remade for probably like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I played this game in probably 1998 for the first time. It's like a year after its release, maybe like not even. Basically once like I had the comprehension to at least like be able to read the game and like kind of get what was happening. Because I was young. But I'm just got it. I totally lost what I was gonna say. What was I talking about a second ago? Jeez.
How excited you were, how long you've wanted this game to be remade.
Oh, okay. I remember what I was gonna say.
How great this is.
Yeah, I started gushing. But no, I would have complained so much, I think, about what the battle system ended up being, because I was like, no, if they remake it, it has to be completely turn-based. It has to be, because like, you know, that's how it was, and like I love turn-based games. There's not enough of them. Blah 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 blah.
They're coming back though. They're coming back.
Well, and like I don't know. I've kind of come around on it though. Like watching this new hybrid that they have in this, I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. It's more accessible for everyone. It's not just catering to my nostalgia. And I like it. It's I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm trying to be open-minded with this game, and I'm really impressed by everything I'm seeing. So
yeah, I way prefer action combat. Always, Final Fantasy VII has always been the exception to the rule. Like, okay, I'll go out for you because you're great, and I love you in all other regards.
Which is weird because you're such a Persona boy.
Yeah, Persona is like turn-based where it's like totally fine with me. I don't know, it totally works, it clicks, but other games I get so frustrated or impatient. But yeah, this is just usually. This is just perfect for me. I love it.
I don't discriminate. I'm good with give me turn-based Dragon Quest or action Tales.
I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to like be more open-minded, you know.
I love it all. I will say though, game like RPGs, like turn-based RPGs that let you fast forward, much better than those that
so
don't.
Good, dude. Game
like
changer.
That was a brilliant fucking invention that Bravely Default decided to do.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was the first one that like, why the hell haven't we put this in more games?
Yeah, like I might actually play Final Fantasy VIII remastered because it'll have that 3x speed option. Just let me get
bit of a side thing. I have started. I have downloaded because of the big E3 play sales. I did snag Final Fantasy VII on Switch and PlayStation 4, and I may or may not have started trying a no encounters playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. So we'll see how that goes. Because I really want to know if it's possible.
That sounds torturous, but
we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, I replayed it like a month ago on Switch, so I feel you. In regards to other things that they're adding, a lot of people talking about Sephiroth, our good snake pupil man, but still with blue eyes, Sephiroth. Look at those peepers.
Look at those serpent eyes.
I can't get over it. He looks like a snake man.
Very reminiscent of the eyes that I want to say Kadash came to have in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. So it's kind of interesting that they're carrying that over.
Yeah, he's got some superpowers in him. God, he looks so good. I can't get over
amazing.
I will say this doesn't look like whatchamacallit. I'm thinking this is when Cloud's on his way back alone to meet back up with Barrett and everybody.
Yeah, yes, blowing right up the first reactor. Explosion.
So I think we'll start getting some Sephiroth much earlier.
Or
I completely agree. I think what my thought is here is, so you know how when you blow up the first bomb, Cloud kind of has his moment where it goes red, and he starts having his little like, you're like, oh, okay, something's up with Cloud. Like there's more to this guy than, you know, just this ex-mercenary thing he has going on, or ex-soldier, now mercenary thing. So I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more of like kind of the PTSD and flashbacks and like that trauma like coming to the forefront of his mind, which I'm about. I think it's really interesting, really cool. Because I mean, it ends up being that this right here is a hallucination.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, it's
for sure. I think like it falls in that. I think this is after the second reactor goes bad, after Aerith finds you, after she helps you, after she takes you to her home, and she's like, okay, I'll take you to the Sector 7 slums, and we'll go see Tifa. And then Cloud leaves in the middle of the night because he doesn't want to drag Aerith into this. And he's like vulnerable. Maybe he's upset at himself, or he's feeling closed off, and he's going through the streets at night. And fucking Sephiroth shows up, and he's just seeing you right when you're at your weakest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that could really fit.
Can you zoom back, like what kind of the further back shot with Sephiroth in the foreground or in the background?
Let me see.
With like the burning building behind him.
Oh, that might be actually forward. Like this?
I'm almost wondering if Cloud's hallucinating and this is Nibelheim.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
That's kind of what I'm wondering too. It looks like the house is in Nibelheim.
Yeah, it looks like the inn, or maybe his mom's house, or something like that. Any of those houses in that circle.
Man, like it's crazy thinking about certain scenes and moments in Final Fantasy VII and how much more powerful they're going to be, like done up all cinematic like this. Like just the library, like the whole thing in Nibelheim, like Sephiroth in the library, like stopping him in the reactor, like the burning of the town, all the stuff with Red 13. Like there's just so many moments that are going to be, I don't know, powerful.
So super powerful. So good. I think like especially Cloud kind of putting himself together. Another thought I had of if the Nibelheim flashback doesn't happen in the first game, is in the second game. It's like told in side-by-side chapters of like you play a little bit of Final Fantasy VII, and at some point it cuts to the flashback and you play along that story, like alongside the story ending with getting to the mountain and you seeing the end of the story that Cloud thinks is happening, and then you see what really happened, and it's like both moments happening at the same time. It's like, oh god, what?
No, that would be really cool. That would be a cool way of kind of doing storytelling.
Yeah,
I was convinced during this scene, like right before it flashes back to like what's actually happening, I was convinced that Sephiroth was going to like poof, and it was actually going to be Aerith or Tifa that he was swinging his sword at.
Yeah,
and he like snaps to right at the last minute and doesn't hurt them. But I was like, oh my god, who's he cutting?
Yeah, because that happens.
Well,
that's happening.
Yeah, I was say because I mean that happens later on, and so like it wouldn't be, I think, a bad touch for him to kind of have that loss of control earlier on.
Yeah. And then we see Sephiroth smile here. The Cloud's coming at him. He loves it. Why does he love it? Yeah, and then it's just another alley in Midgar again. It's cool, man. This game is probably gonna be something special.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm so excited. Every time I see the logo, I just get so excited. My heart just jumps.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. Like I'm so just worried about, well, when will part 2 happen? What will part 2 look like? I know I'm so worried about the future. Like I'm not allowing myself to enjoy how amazing this is and how they clearly care and how they're definitely going to finish it. They love this. This is like a baby clearly to them. But I'm just so worried about the future. You know?
Square has done themselves no favors by saying, yeah, we're just starting to figure out the scope of the second game.
Yeah.
It's like, that's something you don't tell people.
Yeah. It was a very concerning remark. Like, oh, we don't know how many games is going to be. Like, what?
It's like, what? Do you plan?
Yeah, it's like, it's different when it's like a writer starting a series being like, I don't know how long my series is going to be. I haven't completely figured it out. It's like, okay, that's fine. But like you're remaking this game, you know the plot and what you're filling in and adding maybe have more of a structure and game plan. It's a little concerning. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it makes you think that like they probably had the idea to cut to just Midgar pretty late, and then they didn't really have a plan of what to do after that.
Well, and I think like a lot of people don't want to be burned by them making this like a money milking thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like, because I know I'm fucking ridiculous. I have the whole $300 and something collector's edition ordered because I have a
Me
problem.
too.
Yeah, so does Scott, so does Nabshin. I
Like,
don't. I do not like big toys in my house.
I had
I
got
collect
the-
things.
I picked up the 250 edition of Final Fantasy 15, so I need my Cloud riding his motorcycle fighting my Play Arts Kai Noctis.
Uh-huh.
I have to have that happening.
I
See,
mean,
I have literally zero like collective. I have a couple like steel books, but I don't like collect stuff like that because I never really have room for it and I don't really like that stuff. But I was like, I need it.
I also have the Fetus edition of Death Stranding pre-ordered
Jesus.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
because I kind of want to take it to work and just set it on my desk, but I don't know how Chrysler would feel about that.
I don't love collector's edition stuff, boxes and everything. And I say that because I don't like big things, but I will day one pre-order and purchase the Banjo amiibo. So I understand my hypocrisy. I get it. That's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Hell yeah, it is.
Go pre-order the $350 edition of it, I guess. This is not an ad.
I think what's even better is it's like it wasn't even me who pre-ordered it. It was like I was texting Moises like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe, like, I was just like freaking out. And like at one point I ended up losing service because it was like it was all happening right when we were actually leaving the dock. So like the boat Wi-Fi wasn't set up yet, and like I was losing the service from land. So I'm like watching all this and freaking out. And then finally when I like connect again, I just get a message being like, okay, nerd, like I ordered it for you.
Bless. Truly. Thank
What's
you.
nice is they haven't billed yet, so I don't think they're billing you until they actually ship it.
Yeah, no, he said it would be like February, and I was like, thank you, because I feel real bad if you like actually paid for that right now.
Yeah. March 3rd. If I want people to tell me in the comments if you think they're going to add stuff from the early parts of Final Fantasy VII, like the flashback scene in Calm, or some kind of Midgar Zolom reference, or maybe the Choco-Mog summon, or something like that. Will they incorporate that into the Midgar game? Tell me. Feed me.
How many summons do you think we'll get? And what do you think summons will be?
6. And they'll be they'll swap in for your party members and you'll be able to control them to some extent.
Okay, you're thinking they're going to go the Final Fantasy 12 route.
Or the Kingdom Hearts route. Where
Yeah, I'd say that's more like like Kingdom Hearts, or 12 does it too.
You can do special moves with them, like in combination with them if you play as yourself, or you can play as them and do big, powerful attacks. And then you can call in commands, like special commands, like ATB commands that will do like cool combos, like X/ type combos, I'm thinking.
I think we're going to get like just cinematic summons again.
I
I
don't know.
don't really know. I could see it going either way.
It could go either way.
I'm more inclined to believe it'll just be more like a cinematic summon, but I don't know.
I think they've committed so hard to the action combat. Anything that would slow that down so much, like a cinematic summon, they would try and find a way to incorporate that into the action instead.
Well, I mean, even in the original game, like some of the summons were just ridiculously long.
Yeah.
Well, they could adopt like the Final
Infamously
Fantasy IX route or something and just have like a quick summon feature where it's just the attack that pops up.
Yeah. Again, I just don't think it's in the spirit of the moment to moment action like that they're trying to do. But who knows? Like, I don't know.
Nomura is the one who's working on it too, so it's like it wouldn't surprise me if that was like the way they go.
Whatever combat structure they have on this game, though, is
I mean, the summons in 15, all like 3 of them that randomly happen were pretty damn fucking awesome.
Yeah, that can still be cool. I just don't know. I don't know. I want to believe that you'll be able to control Shiva.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
I gotta say, I've done that like so much late, like since I miss just being able to summon the dude and it does a cool move. Like we haven't had that. I guess we kind of had it in 15, so those were awesome. But before then, it was the Final Fantasy IX was the last one.
I don't know, man.
Just like,
maybe the summon is like you get to choose to summon it and attack with it, or just have it do a cool move. Maybe it's both.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. I am bummed I won't get my Space Dragon in this game.
Yeah, and Bahamut Neo Zero.
I won't get any dragon in this game.
I feel like they could work a Bahamut 1 into this game.
Have they said that they're not putting Bahamut in?
No, but you don't get Bahamut materia until after Midgar.
Okay. I thought you meant like in general, not like in the first chapter.
Oh,
okay.
he's in the game.
Oh, he's in the game.
I was like, what the fuck?
There's literally 3 of them in the base game, and like even in the side games, Bahamut's usually been a pretty big deal.
This was peak when they knew Bahamut was hot. You know what I mean?
Dude, just imagine like Knights of the Round.
Yes. Yeah, I'm so excited to see
fighting the weapons.
I'm so excited to see how they incorporate Knights of the Round. I wonder if maybe Knights of the Round will be like an optional boss, and that's how you will get it instead of having to train chocobos, because maybe that's 2000 late. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be so old when we get to the game with like Bahamut Zero or Knights of the Round.
Yeah, we're all gonna be skeletons.
At this route.
Yeah,
we got 9 years. I got 9 years, for like 8.5 years until I'm 40. Do I really think I'm going to finish the Final Fantasy VII Remake by then? No.
Yep, that's fair.
I think I'm like, no.
And Jess and I will be skeletons.
I've resigned myself to the fact.
No, we will all be old and nostalgic when we finish Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Nah, it's gonna be like the end of Titanic for me. Just the old lady. It's been 74 years.
I remember Cloud was the love of my life.
It's going to be so long that by the time the last game comes out, people will be calling for a remake of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, like you need to put the first chapter, the Midgar chapter, on PS6. Come on, dude. I don't want to play it if it's not a PS6. Remaster it.
You gotta... I need to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake in 16K at 100 or like 240 frames per second.
2 billion frames a sec.
It's like, come on.
Y'all, I'm just getting depressed now.
No, this won't happen. No.
I'm just mentally preparing myself to be over 40 when I finish this, because then if I'm pleasantly surprised and it's not that, then I'm like, good job, Square.
I still have life in me.
You impress me.
Still work.
That won't happen. I believe I have faith.
Oh, I have zero faith that it will be done within the next 8.5 years.
Really? See, okay, I am so optimistic about this, you guys. Like, I really am. I think it's going to be good. I'm hopeful. I think it'll be done in a fairly timely manner. I don't know.
I was hopeful, and then they said had no idea how many games there was going to be, and they were still trying to plan the scope of the second game. Before then, I thought, okay, it'll be like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years tops between games. And then they said that and be like, well, fuck me.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and thinking it was maybe just taken out of context, or like they didn't quite say what they mean. I don't know. That's my hope. It's concerning for sure, but yeah. I'd like to imagine they have more of a grasp on things.
I want to believe, that they didn't want to tip their hat. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe that entirely, though. But I think it will be a while. I just don't know if it'll be the full 8 years. But we'll see.
What I'm going to be curious with is if the Final Fantasy VII Remake series is like their focus for the Final Fantasy series until like we won't get a 16 until the 7 remakes are done. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I doubt it, but it's possible.
I would imagine they have a team working on 16 already.
Probably. At least
I imagine they probably have for a couple years.
At least what they want it to be, what they want it to look like.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe not like actually making it right now, but there's got to be something like in development. There has to be ideas there.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
open.
Especially after something like Bravely Default or whatnot. Not Bravely Default. Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
No, both. I mean, Bravely Default still sold really well.
Dude, yeah,
Bravely.
like these things that have echoed Final Fantasy in a major way. I think they're definitely looking around.
Yeah.
I think that's Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's us talking about it. That's the trailer. It's very exciting. A lot of good stuff. Video games are good, baby.
God. What next year is going to be fucking crazy.
It's going to be crazy. We will finish this only to then play Cyberpunk, only to then play another game, to then play another game, to then play another game. Which is cool.
Man,
that's pretty cool.
it is cool.
Jess, Scott, thank you so much for hanging out with me and looking at this trailer.
Thanks for having us.
If you like
anytime.
this, subscribe to it. We do stuff, we make stuff, and check out irrationalpassions.com. It's cool, and
so cool.
It's so cool, and you guys are cool, and everybody watching is cool, and
you're cool, Alex.
Oh, thank you, Scott.
No problem, bud.
You guys are the coolest, and have a good day.
You too.